Hey y'all, hey, it's Raw to the Bone. But y'all knew that already. Well, sometimes I jump on here and I post a video to talk about the topic of the day. And today's topic was one that we've touched on before, but a Coffee with Friends member wanted to touch on it again. So they contributed the topic again along with an article. And it was called Living Apart, right? But still in a marriage. So there are situations, and we had someone on Coffee with Friends come on and talk about how her and her significant other husband lived in separate houses, actually owned their own houses and lived in their separate houses, and they didn't live far from each other, but they thought that that's what worked for their marriage. And so we talked about that today. And one of the things that we talked about up front is no judgment, right? It's a safe space. People come on Coffee with Friends and they talk about their situations. We cannot judge because everything isn't for everyone, and we know that everything doesn't work the same for everybody, right? So, we're here to share our stories and try to navigate through life the best way we can. So today we talked about not only spouses that make the decision to live in separate homes. There was an article that was posted that talked about more marriages stay together, right? Lorenz Tate did an interview where he said, it's mandatory in his household. It's a must that he and his wife stay in separate rooms. He says for two reasons. One, because she's fertile. But second, he said something that was really important. He said, when he comes from doing a movie, playing a role, he likes to decompress. He needs his space, right? So he likes to sleep in a separate room to get his space. And that was the other thing we talked about on Coffee with Friends. I always announce that touch is my love language. And someone had a really great point on Coffee with Friends today. They said, love languages are different for everyone. And I knew that, and that's true. But she also said that for some people, love language can be space, right? Some people need their space, right? So how do you have a relationship with someone that really needs their space to a point where they either want to sleep in a separate bedroom from you or want to live in a separate apartment or home from you, from a person who has a love language of touch? A person that wants to be touched all the time, cuddled all the time, and wants to be in that same space with their significant other. How does a relationship like that work? Someone said it doesn't, right? Also, another perspective that I got on Coffee with Friends this morning is a gentleman said, if your significant other, right, starts sleeping in another room, the marriage is over. That's his opinion. And so that's the beauty about Coffee with Friends, because everything doesn't work for everyone. You might have people with successful marriages that sleep in separate rooms, sleep in separate houses. And then there are those that believe that once you get to that point, your marriage is over. So I'm just here to say that, make sure that the person that you are partnered with, or if you're single and you're dating or you're thinking about dating, make sure one of the things that you understand about yourself is your primary needs, right? Are your primary needs, because it should be more than one, right? We want to say that that's a plural. And for me, I know my primary need is touch, communication. Those are my things. And if I don't have that touch and that communication, it leaves a void for me. So I am not a candidate of living in separate homes or sleeping in separate rooms from my partner. Now, there are certain situations where you might have to live outside the home from your partner. Job. You might have a job that called you that's making good money that's in another state. But when something like that happens, you and your significant other should still not operate as though you're in two separate homes, in two separate places, right? You should make a conscious effort to visit each other very often, spend the time with each other. I mean, fortunately for me, if that happened with my husband, my job is flexible, so I can go anywhere. But in the event that the couples cannot move that way, they have to work harder at their marriages, right? To make sure that the communication is there, that their love languages are being attended to. Because listen, it's hard enough having a healthy marriage. Then when you throw in all these other dynamics like living apart or sleeping in separate rooms, there becomes a question for some people of a level of security. Now, level of security wouldn't be questioned if you happen to meet that same person that likes that level of space. But if you meet someone who has a love language of touch like me, and you try to create a bunch of space between you and me on a constant basis, and I'm not getting my needs met, I'm not getting, what I need, then eventually emotionally I disconnect, and then eventually I'm looking for ways to fill that void, right? That's why you have to know yourself, and that's why you have to know the partner that you choose, right? And even if you both, like, say you have one person that likes space and one person that has a love language of touch and they don't need that much space, that's where the compromise comes in, right? That's where the compromise comes in. So if you are with a person that needs space, maybe they sleep in a separate room 1 or 2 days a week, and the other days of the week, y'all sleep in a bed together. That's when you have to make a conscious effort. That's where the compromise comes in. So I'm not here to say that having two different perspectives on space and non-space would break a relationship. But if you have the ability to communicate, right, and you have the ability to compromise, certain situations will work for you, right? I just say keep the lines of communication open, know what you want, know what you can deal with and what you can't deal with, right? And be honest about it up front. Relationships are hard enough without throwing in all these other complications. So the topic today was living apart. Is it healthy for the marriage? And if it isn't, why? Right? And we don't know. We just give opinions, right? That's what Coffee with Friends is about. And in some cases, people that have real testimonies will share their experiences, right? But again, their experience might not be your experience, right? But it's a share of information. So anyway, guys, happy Monday. And it was a great topic today. Hopefully more of you will join in Coffee with Friends. It's Monday through Friday, Facebook Live. Okay, host is Raw to the Bone. All right. This Friday we have a special Zoom that's going to be live streamed on Facebook, and it's called Do Men Help Women Heal, or Do They Walk Away? And we actually have a panel of 4 men and a panel of 4 women, and the questions are good. It's 5 questions that the women came up with, and they're asking the men, right, these questions. We want to know how to have better relationships. What do we need? How do we compromise? How do we communicate better? That's what we need. And I'm just here to help navigate that, right? So anyway, guys, happy to be here on this rainy Monday. Well, it's rainy here in New Jersey. Wherever you're at, I hope that you have a blessed rest of your day, and hopefully you'll join into Coffee with Friends on Facebook Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. For now, I'm out. Gone for now, but not forever. Raw to the bone. And peace. Oh, and drink your water and mind your business.